Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. From the deepest jungles to the outmost reaches of space and beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers boys are back for another episode. It's no secret that you won't know what will happen next, but Dakota Franson and Chris Mole promise that all bets are off. Viewer discretion and straitjackets advised. These two idiots live up to the name.
Testing 1, 2. Can the audience actually hear us?
I honestly don't know why it does that. It never does it. It never does it. We go Scotland on a Friday
seems
night.
like it's actually working.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually working now. Shocking.
As long as your microphone doesn't start working, then you better say anything. Hello, everybody. How are you all tonight? You know, it's good to see everybody. My phone keeps turning off, which is quite weird. I don't know. It's funky stuff going on tonight. That was funky last week. The amount of problems, but the week before that, the problems we were having. Yeah, I'm not getting notifications. I'm not getting notifications on my phone. There we go now. It's a bit late, that.
Well, it's not your phone's fault that it's starting to act like its operator. Slow to run.
I'm maybe slow, ladies. I'm old, getting decrepit. Because I've got this idiot sitting next to me, you know. Do you know, like somebody says to me the other day, they love our banter. They love it when we start arguing with each other. He's an idiot. Yeah. I wish I could put my horn right through the wall and slap him in the side of the head.
Wouldn't that be interesting if we could pull something like that off and pass drinks to one another? I don't know.
Oh, God. Look, Drew says we're late. Oh, I'm very sorry. Your Royal Highness King Drew.
Well, Drew, you got to remember, with us, it's usually one of two things. Either A, we're having some sort of technical difficulties, or B, your brother doesn't know when to shut up sometimes.
Well, it was both that tonight. We were just discussing things. And this is coming for Drew. It's taken him about a week to figure out what was wrong with his TV.
Yeah, I was thinking Drew was the smart one.
You know. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about a very, very interesting subject, which is not getting talked about that much in the mainstream media. I'll say that. In fact, I've seen nothing about it in the mainstream media.
I've seen hardly any coverage about it, barely anything about the victims that have either been declared missing or deceased. And obviously, we're talking about the situation in Lahaina.
Yeah, well, I just brought that up there for Melissa Kennedy.
Yeah,
brought that up. Look, what's actually happening out there right now is horrific. There's a lot of fake information out there. I'm going to say that now. There's a lot of fake information out there, because I've seen a lot of crazy stuff online, as you do. But you know, have you heard about the 1,000 people missing? Over 1,000 people. There's actually a reporter. Yeah, there's actually a reporter asked the governor, asked him, where are the missing people? And he just blanked them and went on to something else. Do you know there's people getting evicted out of their homes that didn't burn down?
Well, we should also probably talk about BlackRock and Vanguard trying to buy out people's homes that were affected.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? BlackRock and Vanguard, two investment firms that own practically 99% of the world.
Yeah. I watched a thing about it last night on TikTok. It was actually quite long, actually. It gave me a link and it took me a site, and I watched it. And the guy went down the waterfront. A lot of people had tried to escape the fires. And they went into the water, and they were actually pulling bodies out. Hundreds. The mainstream media are not covering that.
Well, let's point out something else here that's suspicious about the entire ordeal.
Yeah.
President Biden showing up 13 days after the entire ordeal. The only sort of remorse that he's shown towards it is the laser focus comment and one-time payment of $700. That barely gets by a week worth of groceries, my understanding down there. Nevertheless, trying to tell people who just lost everything to make that work, to recover.
What's even more disturbing is that president that you've got, there's something really wrong with him. Did you hear his speech in front of all the
that
survivors?
He was comparing those fires to a kitchen fire? 1, 2.
Yeah,
why is President Biden not taking media questions? He was not taking any questions from the media about this entire ordeal.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's shocking. It really is shocking. And he was more concerned. He said, what was it, type of car he had? My friend on the Xbox actually was talking the other night about it. What type of car did he have? What was that? He nearly lost his car. And I was like, what is this guy doing? What is seriously wrong with this guy? And he's running for the next presidency. Is he mad? I don't think I'm going to say this outright right now, everybody. Joe Biden is not the president of the United States. He's a puppet. He's a puppet. He's not running. Someone else is running your country. And you better wake up.
Because more of these attacks are allegedly coming.
Yeah. They're happening everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just Hawaii. Jesus Christ. Have you seen the fires in Louisiana? I was just telling you about it. It's Louisiana.
The oil refinery,
it's happening. Yeah. It's happening in Scotland. There's loads of there's in forests where it rains all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's where it's never happened before. It's happening in Greece. Look at Greece. Mm-hmm. And strangely enough, the $1 million houses are not getting touched.
Exactly.
With the blue roofs.
Yeah. And that's another interesting point is that's looking even more and more valid. And someone actually on TikTok who has access to laser equipment showed that a certain shade of bright blue, almost baby blue.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Isn't affected by direct energy weapons.
It's the same blue as lights up that chat when we click on it. It's a light, yeah. What I find even
group a few shades lighter, there'd probably be some of the safest motherfuckers on this planet right now.
But what is more disturbing before the fires in Hawaii, right? Before the fires there in the islands, there was rich celebrities that you see on TV quite a lot painted their roofs blue.
Mm-hmm.
Now, either they know something or they're psychics and they predicted it. Do you know the people that have bought the ground as BlackRock and all that, the people that are building on the islands have actually built buildings already and they've all got blue roofs?
Here's also another thing that's being pointed out. And a lot of people are speculating that this is supposed to tie into some false flag alien invasion event, right?
Right.
Apparently, there was a Space Force facility that's supposed to be built in the area around the same time.
I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm. I was reading over some of the resources our friend Elena Denon's been pushing out because obviously something of this nature, she's getting 1,012 questions.
Look, I will say this. I've been talking to people from there that are family that are missing.
Mm-hmm.
Missing. They don't know where they are. There is a lot of fake news community there. I'm going to give you that. Did you see the fake news? I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's happened. I don't know if it's been covered up by the mainstream media. But did you see the one where they said that the US Marines had engaged FEMA?
Yeah.
You don't know what to believe in that. I mean, was it covered up?
That was started by a well-known satire website. Because the Marines were involved in arrest of a female official before the fires took place. That part is true.
But it was actually Lisa Fry I was talking to the other night when she was on the show, and she was actually saying that, and we were discussing this, that FEMA's the only ones that are allowed in. No other charity group can go in. Do you not find that's strange? And what's even more strange is the police blockaded the only escape exit.
What do you expect when the main police official behind that is the same guy who took on the investigation of the Las Vegas shooting?
Yeah. The firefighters tried their best. I'm going to say this now. The firefighters tried their best, but when they went to plug into the water, the people that run the island turned off the water.
Now, there's a possible reason behind that. I'm just going to say this because this is not something that I want to come across as disrespectful to any of the locals who are still dealing with this tragedy. Because, like you said, there's a lot of fake news and a lot of assholes with too much time on their hands.
Yeah, they're faking it for views so they can make money. Yeah, they're making it.
I know. Yeah. I know. And that we can make that a whole other show. But
yeah.
While no official cause behind the fires has been released, they speculate that it has something to do with a particular energy company that has caused fires before. And obviously putting water on an electrical fire is a very bad move.
That's very true. But as we said about the blue, did you see the video of the burnt vehicles except for the blue one?
Yep.
I mean, all the cars in a straight line, there must have been about 100 cars. Every one of them is melted in fire, except for the one sitting in the very middle. It was fine. The bumpers were a bit melted and stuff, but the thing could have still be drived because the guy turned the lights on. And
see, Iron Firehorse just pointed out the same thing. Something about the power. And again, fire crews we usually had to use a special type of foam for major electrical fires like that. Now, here in Idaho, this year hasn't been too bad when it comes to wildfires, but we see it all the time, mostly because of either lightning storms or dumbasses with fireworks.
There's something here I want to say, right, is see that, Karma, this is not climate change. I totally agree.
No, I was just about to say.
It's deliberate.
I was just about to say, if it was climate change, you would not have multiple points of origin. Yeah. If it was climate change, and which people need to start paying attention because very similar anomalies have started popping up in various parts of the world right now.
Yes.
That were spotted before Maui. Think about it. Lahaina isn't too far from where the strange laser grid was spotted.
That's right.
Right around the time of where the weather balloon Tic Tac UFOs. And I have something on that too for my area, which is kind of concerning because I was right above my house.
But here's actually something that you don't know. And it's no coming out of China, they know. There's major forest fires in China.
And there's
major forest fires in North Korea.
Yeah. Another thing that a lot of people find suspicious is that just before the Lahaina fires, again, this is just a matter of timing. We cannot know for 100% sure unless we were involved.
Yeah.
China actually announced that the simplified version of it is that they figured out how to keep their laser weapons cooled more efficiently to where they can be fired for longer periods of time. Similar light phenomenon has been spotted in Maui as well as several other parts of the world, British Columbia, several other parts where these fires took place. Multiple points of origin, and it's also speculated that the heightened chemtrail activity may have some sort of magnetic ferrofluid element which allows to focus these energy beams.
I've heard
that's the word about that.
I've heard this, right? Everybody used to say, oh, there's no such thing as chemtrail and stuff like that. They've been doing it for a long time. It's been proven that they've been spraying the atmosphere for a long time. My God, I can remember when we actually had blue skies. No, we don't. It was like lines everywhere, right? They're spraying stuff, right? They're deliberately doing it. And a lot of folk thought, aye, this is maybe to do with Project Bluebeam and all that, and maybe it's so they can use the holographic technology. Maybe it is. Maybe they're going to use that for that too. I don't know. But I've also heard today with the laser weapons. That was a big thing. I'm telling you, look, I think they're doing this deliberately. I think that they're trying to say it's climate change. They're trying to bring in a zero emission law. They want to bring in and ban petrol and diesel cars, right?
In Lahaina, we also got to consider the fact that they have been trying to convert that area into a smart city for some time now.
Yes.
There was a conference and it's scheduled for this coming January.
See,
then all of a sudden, BlackRock and Vanguard are starting to try to buy out the place.
It's not just fires though that's been getting around the world. Have you seen the tornadoes coming down the most strangest places?
Mm-hmm.
In mountains, and top of mountains.
It's technically not impossible, but
it's not impossible. But there's been tornadoes seen here in Scotland.
Mm-hmm. I've heard about
and
that.
They do happen, but they're very, very rare. And I think I'm going to tell you the honest truth. I think this is deliberate. It's 100% deliberate. They're up to something. Yes, some of the fires might have been accidents, right? Let's face it. Some are going to be accidents because it happens every year, right?
Mm-hmm.
But come on. Look at the guy that's disappeared on TikTok. He just totally disappeared. Maybe he's went into hiding. I don't know. There was a car. There was a group of cars, and you could actually follow the Scotch marks over the rocks towards the road. And the road was all melted, right? And then the cars were melted. Look, if you set a car on fire, all the plastic's going to melt, guys, right? All the plastic's going to melt. And there was actually a fire expert that looked into this, and he says, you will not, the wheels and stuff will not melt in a normal fire. Something melted those cars. Something hot enough melted those cars. Because there's been witnesses seen it coming out the sky.
Mm-hmm. You know, there's actually one video I found kind of concerning. I want to validate its legitimacy before I share anything.
Yeah.
Just because of how sensitive this thing is. It wasn't out of Lahaina, but it's a very similar topic to what we're discussing right now, where all of a sudden, this looks like some sort of weather cam like you would expect to see on a news channel, right?
Yeah.
You see in the distance you see a series of lights in a V formation. It looks like video of the Phoenix lights.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Then all of a sudden, beam of light comes down and a gas station goes up.
I've seen that.
That's
weird. I was watching that last night. I watched that last night.
I want to validate the legitimacy of that video, but again, even the dumbest individuals I know, it sounds mean to say it, even the dumbest individuals I know, like, that's a little suspicious.
Look, there's other ones out there with energy weapons. There's other ones. There's not just the gas station. There's the one where it's the intersection, and you see all the traffic moving.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes down and it hits it. Was it a substation it hit or something? And look, this has to stop, guys. And I'm going to say this now. I don't care what folks say. Climate change is a hoax. It is. It's a hoax. It's a hoax. It's 1,000,000% a hoax. And I'll tell you something right now. I'm not saying pollution isn't a hoax. I'll tell you this now. There is pollution in this world. We're using too much plastic. We're a throwaway society. We're throwing stuff into the seas. And talking about throwing away stuff into the seas, have you seen what's happened in Japan?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any guys in there have seen what's happened in Japan, guys. But that's all the used spent water in the nuclear power station Fukushima that's highly radioactive has been dumped into the sea. Well, it's getting dumped into now. Do you know China and North Korea and Korea and stuff like that have banned fishing in Japanese waters because it's that toxic? Yeah. So is the Japanese people. They've been told they can't eat fish from the Pacific. They can only eat fish from the Atlantic.
Yeah. We got a full on Godzilla situation because something's going to be so fucking mutated coming out of that water, because a number of species, their very DNA gets rewritten anytime that shit gets dumped.
Yeah. Look, I watched a simulation. Yeah. Within the next 2 weeks, it'll have went all over the Pacific. It'll be on the Californian coast.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea how toxic that is, guys. People will get cancer really quickly just by swimming in the water for like half an hour.
You know, you also got to consider something else. How openly certain officials have been talking about depopulation plans, and when you got all this shit going on.
Yeah. Yep. It's like something is going on. Something as a foot, as one would say, was it Shakespeare? Something as a foot, right? People, this climate crisis, there's no such thing as climate crisis. Look, I see, and people watch me and they're like, the more they do it, I'll meet them the more. And so, oh, how could you say that? It was hot as in. Look, 20 years ago, it was hotter than what it was now. The Earth goes through cycles, right? The Earth goes through cycles. It's done that for millions and millions and millions of years. At one point, Antarctica had a jungle. It was a jungle, right?
They say every 5,000 years, Egypt switches between a desert and a jungle.
Hi, the Sahara and all that was a jungle, and this is what people don't realize, and they're so fucking brainwashed by the mainstream media. Ooh, I drive an electric car and I'm saving the planet. Well, actually, no. If you drive an electric car, you're actually killing the planet. You have no idea the work that goes into making an electric car. Cobalt. I don't know if you've noticed, but have you ever seen the videos of the cobalt mines? Where they get underage people doing about 7 or 8 to mine the cobalt for your electric cars. Look, I'm not saying electric cars are a bad idea, but the technology's there to know that it's utter shit, right? You don't get many miles to get. You don't get many miles to a charge, right? Maybe if we wait another 10 years or 20 years, maybe that'll get better, right? But come on. This climate change rubbish. You can get a gasoline-powered car that runs on, is it hydrogen? It's hydrogen that runs on hydrogen. And do you know what comes out? You know what comes out the exhaust? Do you know what comes out the exhaust? Water. I know a guy. I know a couple of people that have got them. Look, and hydrogen is so easy to make. You just put a current through salt water. Hence, it gives off the gas. You take that gas, you burn it in your engine. And all it comes out, there's zero emissions. It's actually JCB. JCB is actually turning all their diggers and trucks into hydrogen-powered fuel source because there's no emissions whatsoever. What's that karma there? But in 1912, an electric car was 1,200 miles with one. Yeah, I've seen that. I know what you're talking about. I've seen that.
That shit's been around for over 100 years. That's why Dr. Greer always talks about the lost century when it comes to technology.
Yeah, look at all the people that have disappeared that have invented things.
Look at the people that literally show tutorials of how to convert their gas-powered vehicles into where they run off of that very hydrogen concept that all of a sudden turned out as victims in a mass shooting. Another aspect, trying to jump back into Maui, that a lot of people are pointing out, a lot of the areas being hit have possible connections to human trafficking as well. Because there's several children that popped up around there that are missing.
Yeah, that's
Oprah Winfrey.
Hi.
Her spiritual advisor, Oprah Winfrey, was arrested for human trafficking not too long ago and sentenced to what, 90 years in prison?
See, that's interesting what Rev Melissa put there about fossil fuels. I'm just going to go back to the children in a minute, but I just wanted to say that because I live in Scotland, there's a lot of hydroelectric power plants and there's a lot of wind mills, right? But we've still got 3 gas-powered plants and we've still got 2 nuclear power stations, right? The UK doesn't really have any like oil-burning coal plants anymore because they've phased them out, and that's why there's sometimes blackouts. because they don't have enough there, right? Going back to the kids, something suspicious. Who told that Oprah Winfrey house was one of the houses that didn't get burnt down there?
Mm-hmm.
That was the one with the blue roof that's mysteriously survived. The house in front of it melted and burned down. The house behind it melted and burned down. The house at the side of it melted and burned down. The house at the other side of it melted and burned down. But her house mysteriously survived.
Jeff Bezos also owns land out, out that way.
Jeff old Bezos, Mr. Amazon.
Mm-hmm. I find it funny that our signals are starting to drop out as we're going into this. Starting to name names.
Care. I
just find it funny. I just find it funny.
It's funny. Oprah Winfrey is obviously a big player in this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you something right now. She's getting older now. What age is Oprah Winfrey?
I think she's in her 60s.
Well, the time will come when you have to meet your maker and explain this, Oprah.
Yeah, Oprah's also the one who advocates for the lotions made out of human foreskin.
Yeah. Yep. It's just, I can't believe. I mean, there's the conspiracy community there and the UFO community and the paranormal community. There's just no talking about this. We're the only ones that's talking about this. I know there's other people like Danny and Elena and stuff like that, but come on. It's as if everybody's afraid. You need to talk about this because the less that you cover this, the more that you cover this up, the worse it's going to get. Something needs to be done.
I've been thinking about that. Did you know the CIA considers about 98% of people these days so egotistical they cannot talk outside of their reality?
Yeah.
Therefore, that 98% of people is going to be the easiest to manipulate. A lot of people in the paranormal community, but I'll say it, they are so stuck in their convictions that anytime somebody steps out of line for what their beliefs is, they immediately become chastised.
Yeah.
These communities, for the majority, have allowed themselves to become a joke. And Karima, I'm just going to say, maybe that could very well still be the case. But where are they sourcing that foreskin is what I'm wondering.
I don't know how. Off a wee, but they don't stretch it or in a bit or something like that.
Just saying.
You know, I don't know how that's used. How is that used for burn victims? I can maybe see like a wee burnt patch, but if you're like totally burnt, maybe it's, I don't know. But anyway, that's a new thing. I didn't know that. But the cream industry to keep people young is obviously in Hollywood and that. But have you noticed they're doing it in Hollywood now? They're painting all their roofs blue.
Mm-hmm.
They're painting all their roofs blue because obviously this is going to happen more and more and more. It's going to get worse, you know. It's going to get worse. And see this weather manipulation. I'm going to give you a prediction, right? This year, when the hurricane season starts, I bet you there's a category hurricane that destroys a lot of land that's never been seen before.
Funny you should mention that.
Why?
Did you see the latest little bit that the sudden downgrade in the Hurricane Hillary that just hit California not too long ago, right?
Yep.
A lot of people are speculating that a direct energy weapon was used to basically throw off the storm to where it would dissipate.
Yep. And
they also say that if you point a laser, focus it directly into the eye of a storm, you can actually control the path of it.
Yes. And I bet you the United States will be hit with one of the biggest ever in record. Ever. And it will cause trillions of dollars worth of damage. Trillions of dollars worth of damage. I've been doing a bit of research and I see next year there's something going to happen. There's something going to happen in the US. I think this is the start of the natural disasters, right? There's going to no natural, really, man-made disasters. That's going to start from this year. Next year, I predict that the storms will be that bad. There'll be trillions upon trillions of dollars of damage.
We're already trillions upon trillions of dollars in debt.
Oh no! This has got to be biblical. Biblical. I bet you next year there's tornadoes, right, that are like 30 times the size of the biggest ones ever been recorded.
In order to,
they're ramping up. This is what they're doing. They're ramping up.
Here's
it's
the
going
thing,
to get worse and worse.
Here's the thing, though. You don't have to constantly fire off the weapons. You just have to upset the balance. That's all it is. The more that these weapons are fired, we're going to see more sporadic weather.
Yeah. There's going to be repercussions for what they've been doing. It's not just that. What have you heard about the big one, the earthquake? Have you heard anything in the Great West about that?
They've been sporting that line for years, man.
But do you not think it could happen with all these energy weapons that they've got? Because
going back to the laser grids that were spotted off of Maui, it is widely believed by some, and the fault lines actually line up with that in mind, that certain earthquakes within like Syria and that particular region may have been caused by the disturbance with direct energy weapons being fired off the coast of Maui.
Yeah.
And it's not like we're making this up. People have physically gotten video and photos of these lasers. Yeah. It's not just some conspiracy anymore. People are actually catching this shit in action.
People need to say more, guys. You need to share this video. Probably get taken down. I'm not giving a fuck, right?
That's why we stream so many places.
I don't care about the governments of the world anymore. People need to wake up. And it's like what's happening now. There's a lot of talk on TikTok. There might be another lockdown coming in.
Yeah, environmental lockdowns.
Yeah, environmental lockdowns are not just that. Election lockdowns too. But they say that's coming. They say that's coming back. I mean, they're trying to close everybody down because they know it's all about control. They all want these 15-minute cities. And people will be like, oh, no, that's a load of rubbish, guys. That'll no harm.
But we also thought the world shutting down to a pandemic like they did was bullshit.
Do you know there was people that years ago, about maybe 15 years ago, I would go, see the planes are spraying something. Oh, you're talking pish. And now they've fully come out and said they're spraying the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the UFOs. The US government's admitted to UFOs. I'm amazed. Honestly, I'm amazed. Some folk, it doesn't seem to have done anything. I'm actually very surprised,
because and there's going to be a lot of people that try to shoot down broadcasts like this, saying, oh, it's the law of attraction, you're spreading fear. First off, we need to get off of our fucking high horses and actually take into action. People don't say, they don't want low vibration energy. First off, when the fuck are we going to get angry about the shit that's going down? No. Not because it's affecting Democrats, Republicans, and blacks and whites and gays and straight. That is all nothing but a bunch of hypocritical bullshit that is constantly being pushed in order to stir up this chaos. The reason why people aren't reacting to the news about UFOs and extraterrestrials being admittedly real is because we're so caught up in this chaos, and that's exactly what they fucking want. Yeah. This whole new age concept has been pushed, and several of the retired CIA agents have fully admitted that they have inserted people into these communities for the sole purpose of disrupting things. You know what they say the perfect spy recruit is for the CIA? Someone who is too young and dumb to ask questions why they're being told to do what they're doing.
Yeah, the perfect. Look, it's not just that. It's the younger generation now. I'm sorry to say this. Some of these are all right. Some of these are really good because I can folk younger generation that are really clever and that. But some of these are downright idiots. I mean, if you just need to go into that TikTok late at night and have a scroll through all the lives, what is that all about?
Let's go on about the group Just Stop Oil. That's
oh my god! Oh,
yeah.
Gluing themselves.
Look at how
much. To the road.
Look how much those people. Now, a number of people can agree. There needs to be some sort of change in how we control energy because the way we're doing it simply just poisons everybody around it. We know better. We know it's not working. But they all go to act big and tough. But yet the second they're actually confronted with cameras, they break down.
Yeah.
They destroy all of these monuments, effectively turning away anybody who would probably side with them.
It's like the people that want all the refugees to come into Britain. It's like the people that want all the refugees. Look, I'm all for you coming into this country if you're actually a refugee and your country's at war and you've witnessed terrible things. But there was one guy who was in London. There was a big protest. And it was all the pensioners and stuff like that, and the younger generation, all the well-off people. Oh, let everybody in, let everybody in. And the guy went round them and says, well, would you like to let one of the asylum seekers stay with you? You know, you're wanting us to all come in. And like, oh, no, we don't want those type of people staying with us. So, you know what I mean? This is the type of society. This is the type of society. A lot of these Just Stop Oil people, guys, are rich people, but with nothing else to do.
Mm-hmm.
One of the Just Stop Oil people that actually, what was that painting? There was a painting, they chucked paint all over. Their father's a multi-millionaire and he's got ties to the oil business.
Uh-huh. They're just in that to just piss off daddy.
Yeah. It's, look, see all what's going on in the new way, or the what do you call it, this feminist movement, all this kind of stuff with the feminist movement. You came what I mean with the, what do you call it, transvestites and stuff like that. Folk want to be this and like that. There's nothing wrong. LGBT, there's nothing wrong with what you want, but it's getting a bit carried away, right? It's getting ridiculous now. I mean, there's women now, women that do certain sports in like the Olympics, right? And men are dressing up because men can't win at being a man at the Olympics. So instead, they kid when they're a woman, and then they win because it's a woman they're going against.
Yeah, let's talk about how some of these athletes in the men's league, their ranking was in the 400s, but in the women's league, they're top of their game.
Oh yeah.
Gee, I wonder why.
It's madness. It's madness.
This definitely does feel like a prelude to something nasty. We can't ignore it just because it makes us feel sad. If we didn't have these negative feelings, people, and I'm pointing this out to every new ager that gets pissed off at me when I go to talk about this. If we didn't have these feelings, what is supposed to drive us to push for change?
Nothing, because that's what they're hoping for. They're hoping all the younger generation, all these new agers are dumb, compliant, and they do what they're told. So as they can change, so as they can do what they want, and they can do what they want. If you to go back to the 1930s, 1940s, 1950s, even 60s, you would not get away with this. What's going on right now? You would not get away with what's going on right now.
Fuck that. 10 years ago. 10 years ago, you wouldn't get away with this.
You would not get away. You would not get away with what's happening now. And this has all been designed, guys. It's so as they can bring in their one world government, their new world order, their 15-minute cities, and you can George Orwell 1984 coming true, and everybody's basically little robots doing their thing with a chip implant in their hand and doing what they're told. Oh, and the population's down to like 5 million or something like that instead of 8 billion. It's all about that. It's all been designed. This was decided. This was decided a long time ago before any of us in this chat, any of us sitting here was born. This was decided a long time.
When we had him on, he made a very valid point. the Nazis. They may have lost World War II, but they've won global domination.
Yeah.
They've won. And we're just sitting back, letting it happen because they offered some fancy intel during Project Paperclip. In fact, did you know when certain secret societies, they advocate for things like social media and all this simple pleasantries we may get from our day-to-day lives. Mm-hmm. They realized how quickly we are able to give up from private information about ourselves for simple toys.
Yeah.
That's why they advocate this stuff so much. They back
it's like some people in this type of field that we're in. Some of them are just wanting fame and wanting to make money and get maybe a TV slot, doing like a ghost hunting show or something like that, or something like that, and they want to talk about this. Whereas there's people like us that actually want to bring the truth out to the light, and we'll not get many views because, let's face it, we're probably shadow banned everywhere, you know? And it's sad. It's sad that people are just turning a blind eye. I was talking to somebody about a couple of months ago, and we were talking about the way the world's going, right? And do you know what he says to me? He says, "Oh, it's not going to harm me any." And I says, "It will harm you eventually. Oh, it'll not harm me. It'll not come here." This is the mentality we're dealing with. People that think that they're too far away from all this. It's not too far away. What's happening in Russia and Ukraine now? That's not that far away. All these forest fires, that's not far away. It can come here. It can happen here. And before you know it, it'll be on your doorstep. And then you'll be like, fuck. Oh, this cat, I don't want to stand for this. I'm going to stand up against this. But that time it's too late because everybody's been dumbed down. And everybody that's into this kind of thing has been either dealt with. Because let's face it, because if anything does happen, folk like me and Dakota and everybody in the chat that puts up a fight against this will be dealt with. Because I know you're probably on a list somewhere. You're probably on a list. I'm probably on a list and all.
I'm going to say this, and if Dots is still in the chat, he can validate it because he saw the videos I took of it. I was reaching out to Elena to ask her some questions about something that's supposed to come up this October. Relatively minor thing, nothing harmful. Mm-hmm. As I get home, I grab my cat, take her out for a walk. She was an outdoor cat and gets antsy if I don't do it. I look up at the sky because it was still relatively dark. I'm just getting off the home from work. And all of a sudden I see this bright light above the house. I'm just like, that's looking a little weird. I pull up the star map. Not supposed to be any stars. That also flags satellites. It's just staying relative. Then this thing starts moving by itself. This whole ordeal lasted about 45, 50 minutes. Mm-hmm. Something was right above my house. I've gotten video of it. You can clearly see something's up. And people will say, oh, maybe it's one of those high altitude balloons, like the ones that got shot down earlier this year. Okay. I looked into that as well. The motion it was taking does not line up with the jet stream patterns.
Yeah. It was either one of two things. It was either they were keeping an eye on you, whoever's pissed off with what you're saying, or two, it was your alien friends keeping an eye on you and protecting you.
Because I was asking for if certain individuals were going to be showing up in October when I go down to Orlando, which... Speaking of which, the strange lights, everybody's freaking out because strange lights in the sky are showing up in Orlando as well.
If it happens in Orlando, when is it? September, October? Is it October?
Week before Halloween.
Another lockdown. We might be in another lockdown by then.
Mm-hmm.
Or the hotel, God forbid, might be burnt down with wildfires. You don't know.
Start knocking on wood, Chris. Because one of our the one guest that helped us build the platform we have now, like 95% of the numbers we get is going to be a speaker. We don't want anything bad happening to her. You knock that shit off.
But I'm just saying, the way the world's gone now, the way everything's gone now, something is about to happen. These fires are just distractions. Everything's just a distraction now because it's going to happen. Something big is going to go happen. Hopefully it's after your thing, so you can have your thing. But something is going to happen.
Apparently my mother is watching the show.
How do you know? Oh,
she's in the chat.
Don't worry, Shannon. The aliens will bring him back. They always do. They can only stand him for like half an hour.
Oh, my bed broke again, by the way.
It says, do you think they're maybe dropping you deliberately? Do you think they're maybe dropping you for like an altitude? And you're like falling into the bed? They're maybe taking you to above the ceiling and going, dunk, and letting you go.
I don't know. There's been a couple of times where it seemed rushed, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Oh.
Things are getting weird.
I just don't know. It's the world's. It's all messed up, man. It really is. It's messed up. And what's that?
No, just noise? Looking at the people laughing when I said my mother's apparently watching.
Oh, I think yes, his mother's watching everybody. But see, that's maybe it is. They're maybe dropping you. Maybe when they're bringing you down, they save power sources and then go away to McDonald's or something like that. Listen, do I just drop them off? And they'll drop them off and you're falling out the ceiling, bonk, into your bed.
Hey, I always said I wanted to go skydiving.
Everybody in the chat, say hello to Dakota's mum in the chat.
Oh,
sometimes I don't know what it is for me, but sometimes I can't even see any Facebook stuff or that. It's weird. Sometimes I can't see YouTube things. They'll pop up and then they'll disappear again. It's weird. The chat's just active.
Yeah, I've noticed that you were having that issue last night.
Aye, my chat's not working very good. I've refreshed.
I was actually awake for that one. And Jenny, being that I see you in the chat, yes, that was me that snuck in to try to help fix things.
Yeah, Jenny. See what I mean? I didn't ken Jenny was in.
You are not paying attention to your girlfriend?
I know, but look! I just turned my phone on. Ladies and gentlemen. It's the chat for the Streamlabs. It doesn't work.
I know.
Hello, Jenny.
I don't know if it's something about how we've been using it or not, because the chat's been working just fine for me on my end. But maybe tomorrow we should aliens. Maybe tomorrow we should probably open up the panel to let more people there out their thoughts.
We should let some people in. We should get Dots if he wants to come in and see if he wants to say anything, or anybody else that wants to come in. Look, it has to be said, this. You know what I mean? And if the CIA is listening, you're obviously a lot closer to Dakota, so take him first.
Hey, I've actually been trying to get CIA agents on as a guest.
You'll not get CIA agents. You only get retired ones, and they're probably been warned off us.
No, they said they wanted to. It's just that they were booked for Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch when I asked.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't find out about that last part till later, but
what I need everybody to do in the chat is I need you to go into TikTok and try and find legit stuff on YouTube and TikTok and legit articles, right? This is what I want you to do, and I want you to post it everywhere about Hawaii, about these fires, right? And these missing people and that, because we need to wake people up. I've been shadow banned on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Because I posted something the other day there, and it didn't get any likes. Ken, how you can do that thing where you can sign out your account, but look at your account. Well, yeah. I did that, and I couldn't see the post that I put out.
There's actually been some content creators I've followed for years who've actually busted Facebook for altering their page's settings to where their shit doesn't go out. And anytime you go in and try to fix it, within refreshing the page, the setting is back again.
Aye. Look, we need everybody that's watching this to go and find legitimate videos. Don't be posting any that's the folks say the Marines are shooting the folk in that, because that's a load of shit. Just find legitimate ones and post it everywhere.
And here,
You need to.
Iron Fire Horse, you gotta consider. YouTube is owned by Google, which is actually stepping up their restrictions against independent sources.
Yes.
Sources that can't be bought out by BlackRock or Vanguard. Because let's face it, they own like 90% of the pharmaceutical companies, news media outlets in the world, but funding both sides of the argument. You gotta be careful who you trust.
What's your opinion?
Bonkers is trying to get their own streaming service up and running soon. So there might be a Kickstarter about that. But
what's your opinion on Elon Musk this way? There'll be free speech and all that on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now. I see he says he stands for free speech and that, but there's still arcane folk that post stuff on there and their stuff gets taken down.
Again, I want to say this. Why is it that so many young women can post sexually explicit images of themselves on Twitter, yet when those same girls post anything about UFOs, that shit gets taken down?
Yeah. We live in an unfair world. It's like my TikTok account. I don't post anything on there anymore. But this week I had 716 new followers, but my numbers don't go up; they just go down. I should be sitting at 10,000 followers now, and I'm sitting at 4,000. Every week I get around about 800 or 900 followers because of the videos that's on there, and TikTok's no adding them on. But see, if I get into the laptop back, you can actually count them all. And there's around about 10,000. But on the thing, it only says there's 4. I put a ticket in about it and they never got back to me.
They're not going to.
No, because there's no freedom of speech. There's no freedom of speech anymore. And it's the same with the internet. The internet's not what it used to be. The internet isn't a place where people can post for freedom of speech anymore. The internet's not even the same internet as it was when I was in my younger days when the internet first came out.
Mm-hmm.
The internet's not the same anymore. It's all these apps and everything that run everything now. And it's not the same as it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad to know that this world is so screwed up, you know. So what we're talking about tomorrow, what in part 2 are we talking about tomorrow? We get into detail with any videos or looking at pictures of like energy weapons or...
We can, but I was also thinking let's follow through on making tomorrow an open panel. Anybody who wants to come on and join the talk with this, don't be shy.
Yeah. So you're welcome to come on, you know, but don't be any trolls. You'll not be allowed in. You'll be kicked out instantly, you know, because have you noticed lately that Facebook trolls, people are getting trolled like mad on YouTube lately?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the troll situation, there's people out there that I respect that I watch their channels and that, and the trolls, they're getting trolled like, when they believe these are obviously bots or whatever designed to annoy folk.
Mm-hmm. It
that
doesn't take much to make them, actually.
You know, if we were on here, if we were a show like, oh, Joe Biden's the greatest president ever, and we had all Joe Biden t-shirts on and stuff like that, we'd probably have 2 million followers. Can't I mean? And,
you know,
but he's an idiot.
You know, being that we're in the last little bit of the show, let's talk about something else when it comes to these Maui fires. Yeah. That book, Fire and Fury, you just reminded me of it. Okay?
Yep.
Now, granted, it does seem suspicious, and 90% of the people posting about it likely didn't fucking actually read the damn thing.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But I did. I got a little peek.
Right.
That shit was generated by ChatGPT, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it should also be interesting that this Dr. Miles, whatever. Now, that Fire and Fury, it's been taken down, but apparently he had another book out about Hunter Biden.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. Saying how he's overcome drug use, clearly not paying attention.
Well, no, I'm watching
and
the way
become a prominent political figure. Now, granted, I'm not saying he couldn't. There's been several U.S. presidents who have had issues with cocaine. Apparently, Barack Obama was one of them at one point. and got over it and became prominent figures. It does happen. But nevertheless, that is highly out of taste to try to put something out like that when the fires are still.
He maybe thought he'd make a fortune on it because it was such a catchy thing.
And because it got so controversial, a lot of people bought into it just to find out what the hell was going on.
Aye, because there was folk on TikTok and all that saying, "Oh, this guy's a time traveler and all that, and he knows the future and stuff like that." Oh, fucking shit.
Yeah, they also tried saying that the new sphere down in Las Vegas,
That's impressive.
Prominent stage with several LCD screens to make its appearance, was a portal like out of the Terminator movies.
I seen that.
Now I'm just like, I'm sorry for how big that thing is. Show. I would be very afraid of what's coming out of it.
We should do a show one night. What do you think, chat, today? Where would you call it idiocy in the conspiracy world?
We'll just call it idiocracy.
Aye, idiocracy, because there's some people on there. Honestly, I don't know. They shouldn't even be let loose to walk among us. You know, they shouldn't be let loose to walk among us. Get what I mean? And
yeah, but if stupid people weren't allowed to propagate, there'd be several people without a job right now.
That's very true. So I don't know if it is the new with TikTok, by the way. There's all these folk hidden on the 8 bots. You see what I'm talking about?
I know, right as the fucking AI, the writer strike's going on, and one of the main concerns being AI applications being used for writing and producing. I'll admit I've used some of those programs before, but we're a smaller company. We can get away with this and things like that. See the latest little bit that's been going around on TikTok?
No, what is it?
People posting looped videos of them sleeping with like another video of like a gaming video or something playing, and having people buy to try waking them up. They're posting videos of what looks like them sleeping. And if you pay attention, you can see where the video skips, where it goes to repeat.
I've seen videos where there's one guy sitting and he's got a picture on his chest and it says, "Please help me. I'll be homeless at the end of the week." But it's been like that for a year now and he's still getting the money.
And there was one guy, he was looking like he's sleeping. You physically see the video skip when the loop restarts, and people are like, I think only the background is the loop. Oh,
look, I'm going to say this. There's people out there that are complete and utter tits, right? They're complete and utter idiots. And the reason they said this is I had an argument with somebody one night, and it was about flat earthers. I know I've went into this territory, flat earthers, right? It's an area that really annoys me. And I says to him, "What makes you think the earth is flat?" And he's like, This is the God's honest truth. This is what he said to me. Well, what's a map? And I'm like, well, it's a bit of paper and it's flat. And you look at it, aye, it's flat. So the earth is flat. And I says, what, you got to carry a fucking globe about you? Big globe under your arm,
we barely have the comprehension. I know.
But this is the idea that we're dealing with here. There's people that actually believe the earth is flat because the map of the earth is on a bit of paper. I mean, what do you mean? Did they carry a big globe? I could see it, the new driving the car where there's no GPS. Or wait, they'll get the big globe out. Right? And I'm like, oh, we're here. Right? And I'll turn it around here. And get what I mean? This is Jesus. I would love to get a flyer for one to interview.
Because you rant on so openly about it, they're too afraid.
I know. They'll no take me up in this, and because you're complete idiots, Complete idiots. I don't blame you. These are idiots.
And again, flat Earth, it's fully been admitted. The modern version of the flat Earth theory, it's been fully admitted to. It got started as a prank.
There's Emerald Isle Paranormal. What's that? What do you mean the world is not flat?
If the world is flat, I have huge tits.
You probably do. You'll be getting people in that
Save
chat.
The staring at. Save that kind of chat for your girlfriend.
I know, but I'd honestly, I've got a text.
Jenny, I question your
she'll give me
sanity about. I question your sanity about going out with this man all the time.
Just the handsome and the sheer good looks.
Did you suffer a brain injury? Or do you need your glasses checked?
Actually, I've had diabetes. See, for the last week, I've had migraines from hell. That I don't know if these energy weapons are causing this.
They're getting smaller. Fucking Iron Fire Horse. Fuck you.
Thanks, the Iron Fire Horse. I admire that. You know, but look, tomorrow I think it'll be an open panel. MD's welcome to come on, as long as you're not a flat earther, because I can't be asked to argue with you just by slapping flat earther. Because you're in the. I've seen flat earth shows, and I just don't know. I just don't know how they do it. Honestly, do you ken that? Mind the first time we started doing Bald and Bonkers, I made the comment about flat earthers. They all sent me messages in Twitter saying, "How can you say that the Earth isn't flat? I've got a map and it proves it's flat." That was one of them, and it says, "I've got a map and it's flat paper, and I know for a fact it's flat." And no,
okay.
I can't.
Yeah. Okay, here's what you say. Here's what you say to those assholes. All right. So, say that you watched them on the show. So it's like, are you saying the people that you have photos of flat as well? I mean, you got pictures of them. The pictures are flat.
I have heard that the Flat Earth Society has got followers all around the globe.
Something they really need to say to themselves. Very.
I mean, they seem to think that the Flat Earth Society think there's 2 moons and 2 suns.
Yeah.
So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, honestly, tonight, guys, for a laugh, saying it's Saturday night, I want you to all go and watch Flat Earth videos and think to yourself, I'm so grateful that I have more brain cells than them.
That's not much.
You know? But,
yeah.
But anyway, we'll see you all soon, guys. Is there anything you would like to say, Dakota, before we depart for Beyond the Veil?
I do want to give a special shout out to our Patreon subscriber, Josephine, who subscribed to our new promotional tiers. If you go for the $10 tier, you can actually get free digital copies of Bald and Bonkers Network LLC books, free for download.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You'll be able to find
links
out
in the description.
Secrets.
Yeah, they don't want to walk into that closet.
You never know what you'll find in there, tucked away, right at the back.
Plenty of boners.
Well, there you go.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you see Bald and Bonkers for even more insanity. Be sure to spread the love to the Bald and Bonkers boys' other endeavors. And a special thank you to our audience, guests, and everyone else who helps make this crazy ride happen. Amazing things are ahead. Learn more by visiting www.baldandbonkers.net. See you next time. Much love and take care. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. From the deepest jungles to the outmost reaches of space and beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers boys are back for another episode. It's no secret that you won't know what will happen next, but Dakota Franson and Chris Moore promise that all bets are off. Viewer discretion and straitjackets advised. These 2 idiots live up to the name. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. From the deepest jungles to the outmost reaches of space and beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers boys are back for another episode. It's no secret that you won't know what will happen next, but Dakota Franson and Chris Moore promise that all bets are off.
What the fuck? Hey!
What is going on?
What? What happened there? What did you do?
Oh, I'm not doing nothing. I'm sitting here eating candy and drinking Lucozade. What did you... Don't get my brother over in the chat. What did you do?
I don't know what the hell just happened with that.
Welcome into the room, everybody. Rev, welcome. Emerald Isles Paranormal, welcome. You know, who else we got in there?
It's like, hey, the world. It's like, I'm just gonna say this: the world clearly can only handle one of me. Definitely. Why is it trying to double me?
I noticed that when we were starting to go live there, it was in the code. It kept saying that you kept joining, and it was filling up.
I know.
You know,
I saw that too, and I'm just like, what?
Drew Mole is entering the room. What did you do?
And yes, Drew. Yes, Drew. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stephanie, welcome. Heather, welcome. You know, there's a lot of new people there. Oh, there's Shannon in there. Your mummy's in tonight.
Fucking figures. I tell her that everybody goes to say hi to her.
Everybody in the chat say hi to Dakota's mum.
And you're muted.
Everybody in the chat say hello to Dakota's mummy in the chat.
Oh God!
Welcome her. Welcome.
I was expecting some sort of issues, but not that, man. That just threw me off. Look,
there's some weird shit happening in the night. I think it's because I think there's Drew started. There's some weird stuff happening tonight, right? It's just I've got this screen up, and I'm going to tell you right now. Emerald Isles, I can only see it on there, but I can see it on here. And she's on her Facebook account.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't tell if that's just something on I can't tell if that's just something on Streamlabs end or what, but
Marie, well, you know. So, Dakota, part 2 of the fires in Maui. What have you learned since last night? Because I've just been watching stuff non-stop. My God. The devastation.
And the thing that honestly bugs me when it comes to these types of topics is how easy just gets all twisted around, you know? And trying to figure out what the hell actually happened down there without actually, trying to fly down there.
Mm-hmm. Why is the icon for me moving about the top of the screen?
Because
is that you fiddling with something there? Double click.
Yeah, I was trying to fix crap.
You can't fix it.
I think you're the one fucking touching it.
What did you do?
I really think your intro debacles are your claim to fame. Yeah, it's up there.
Well, I've had a migraine for 4 days straight now, and it'll just not go away. It's the aliens.
Wait, why do you have my name?
You know,
we gotta
the
fix
aliens
this.
Take me away. They're taking me away
All
at night and did terrible things to me. You know, it's like a job I can't remember what they're actually doing to me. You know.
Yeah, I know. Just what the hell does this actually have to do with Maui? Well, as we were saying, there's a lot of insanity going on, and we don't know exactly what the fuck is going on.
The cover-ups in Maui, I'll tell you something new. For fuck's sake, I can't even pronounce that. The cover-ups in Maui right now, right? Fuck. See, that's why. See why she start. Honestly, I've had a really weird day today. I really so have. But anyway, never mind that. Honestly, don't you muting my. Don't mute my mic. Move that bloody.
I didn't mute your mic.
Bloody moose moved there. I watched him. He's terrible, by the way. He's terrible. Can't he fucking take this guy anywhere? But anyway, he's like the child that you take to the shows, and he wants the candy, and he won't stop playing with the buttons. But anyway, honestly, in all serious note, see the things that's happening out there right now. I mean, it's over 1,300 people missing.
Mm-hmm.
Where have all the kids disappeared to? I mean, we got into the subject last night, and what makes me wonder, a lot of people are saying, right, they've been burnt alive, they've been killed in the fires. Well, what if it's something more sinister? What if it's contained into like child slavery?
There's actually a lot of information coming about that the lands affected were well-known trafficking ports. And that's why they were burnt, because people that are investigating this stuff, finally, all this attention, maybe we can even go as far as blaming Sound of Freedom. All of a sudden, that attention's stirring up. Now shit's catching on fire.
I'm very interested in why Oprah Winfrey painted the roof of her house blue.
And that's another thing.
Can you?
I know that there's a lot of people that are speculative about that. So why would that certain color not be affected? And I've actually been trying to research that all day, but when you really think about it, obviously certain colors cancel out certain forms of light. That's just how it works. If this was purposely tuned to where they were trying to protect something blue, maybe a wedding ceremony, I don't know, you would have to think it would be something similar to like laser removal technology for like tattoos, right? And maybe something about the color blue. If you go through several ancient cultures, that's always had calming, even protective energies.
It's actually weird you should say that about the blue, right? I actually researched this, and it's today with the different colors, right? But here's an interesting thing. I wished Lisa was here tonight. I invited her on the night, but she had to go out for her dinner. She was going out for her dinner the night, but she'll watch this back because she would have been the perfect person for this. There's actually ancient Maui legends about an evil that would come to the island, right? And destroy the island like a fire in the sky. But there was an ancient blue in the oceans that would protect the oceans. Now it's actually a legend. You can actually look this up. It's a blue substance that would come out of the oceans and it would protect people. I think that's like time travel material. I think somebody's seen the future, right? And they've seen the blue and they've said this kind of stuff.
Yeah, Polynesian cultures are filled with those legends.
Rev says there, I saw the color had to do with the 666 frequency, which is interesting. I watched the thing last night with the guy, TikTok. It was maybe 15 minutes long, and he speeds it all up, and he buys an industrial laser. I mean, this thing is like very dangerous. You need like a license to have this. And he points it at the ground, and he's made like a rig, and he puts the exact color of blue sheet of plastic underneath this, leaves it for 5 minutes. Nothing happens. He takes it away, and underneath the bit of blue is just like a bit of like wooden material, and it instantly catches fire. Instantly. And he tries it with all the different colors. He tries it with like red and blue, with different colors of blue, and they all catch fire. But it's that color of blue, there's something in it that stops that from happening. It must be to do with reflecting the light somehow.
There are several materials out there that are well known to be amazing insulators, and we're looking into several of the applications. What was it? There's this one substance that NASA was looking into to use as insulation for like rocket missions. It's like 99.9% air. It is that light.
I know the stuff you're talking about.
Right. So it is not necessarily out of the question. And when they found that they applied this stuff with major amounts of heat, it did nothing.
Yeah.
And anything on the other side of it was protected. So, and it is about that shade of blue. Now I think.
Oh, you bloody changed my name again.
God damn it, Drew!
Yeah, I was wondering there because I read in the changed my bloody name back there. I can't bars.
Well, for some reason they had you as the same name as me, so I went in to fix it, and Wanky came out.
Well, I will say this. Did you see that other bit of news? I kind of we're talking about Hawaii tonight. Emerald Isles, Jenny in the chat, they're laughing away. I know he's terrible. But anyway, did you see that? That this is what I find ridiculous, right? How much does NASA spend a day?
Oh God. What? Just
It's about 80 million a day,
roughly, yeah.
right? Whereas, where they say they can't go back to the moon, but India went back there on $75 million.
Yeah.
Do you see where I'm going with this kind of stuff? It was actually Drew that said in the chat that remembered me. And it was, but you see where I'm going with this? There's something weird going on in this world. I honestly think, oh my God, that thing with the Indian thing, that was a lot of people in TikToks. See, did you see it? Did you see the illustration at landing in the moon?
Mm-hmm.
Right, I'm going to say this right now, guys. That was a computer simulation of what the thing looked like, the rover looked like. That wasn't actually the space capsule, right? That was a computer simulation at landing. Everybody in TikTok think that was actually the capsule. No, that was a computer simulation, right?
You got to remember, ladies and gentlemen, anybody who has a decent enough computer can create those videos these days. It does not take much. It just takes a little bit of brains, which most people on social media just don't seem to have.
It's what my brother Drew says. Here in Scotland, it's cost £350 million for one car ferry, to go like maybe 15 miles across the sea to build one ferry. And the Indians have went to the moon in $75 million.
Well, yeah, that's all the money they're making off of computer scams.
But it's one small step for mankind and new location for the corner shop.
Thank you for coming to the Quickie Mart.
Oh, very good. Very, very good.
Good goddamn bastards. Not all of us sound like that.
Oh, God. Jesus. Honestly,
we're getting canceled. Thanks for the publicity.
Thank you very much. But I know... Jenny in the chat. Oh my God!
Here, Jenny, honestly, you want to come join the madhouse?
This has got something to do. This has actually got something to do. This has actually got something to do with the Maya. You may add, but how am I going to bring this in here?
All right, come on.
Would you say it was satellites that did that? Would you say that was like advanced satellites, or would you say it was aircraft with lasers attached to it?
It could easily be high altitude drones as well as lasers, but in the interest of putting all the cards out, people have to realize sometimes, I'm just pointing this out, there are certain instances where fires can hop. Basically, embers, they fly off of one fire, go off into the area. That would cause what looks like multiple points of origins. This is just full cards on the table. But you also have to admit, the videos that are actually been proven to have been coming from Lahaina instead of just the random ones that kind of look like the area. Which, speaking of which, I could think there was an experiment you and I can do between Idaho and Scotland to prove how easy it is to trick people. There is something weird going on in that sky.
I've been watching a lot of. There's been a lot of top people that have went off of quiet all of a sudden over this, and some of them have disappeared. There was one guy who was a metallurgist, whatever that is. It's like a metallurgist that he knows the melting points in metal, right? Mm-hmm. And he says this is really interesting. He says he brought up the first video, and he showed you a normal car on fire. Right after that, all the plastic is melted, all the engine's melted, stuff like that. The engine block is still there, the alloy wheels are still there, and the aluminium on the car is still there. That's aluminum for you Americans, so I'll just keep it aluminum. Right now, in Maui, some of the cars were actually melted in half as something sliced straight through them.
That should not be suspicious.
That is, there was a Ford F-150. There was a Dodge, I can't remember, Ram, I think it was. And there was two other cars. I don't know what they were because they were unrecognizable. And even the engine block was melted. That does not happen. Yes, the car will burn out and there should be the engine block, the gearbox, the main frame. Aluminium melts at certain points. That should not have happened. The thing was melted. See, for that to happen, the guy says, even a house on fire next to it would be extreme heats. It would be extreme. It's hotter than the surface of the sun. Must have hot that for a very short time. Because actually, do you know how bad this was, guys? It melted, right? And 100 yards down the road, you can actually follow the molten. It's set now. It's went cold. The molten aluminum down the road, and it actually went down a drain. That's how liquid it was. Come on. Come on. Right, I'm saying this. Yes, some of it might have been maybe power line failure, right? With maybe the fires, or what I'm saying. But look, there's so many strange things. Did you see the aerial photos of the houses with the blue umbrellas next to the swimming pool?
Yeah,
they weren't melted whatsoever. They weren't melted whatsoever. Yeah, and some of the pools were drained. That's how hot it was. The actually flash boiled, right? If something passed over the top of it. And there was actually a guy, the scientist actually talked about this. He says, come on. He says, you can see some green foliage and stuff around about that's not been touched. Yes, there has been power failures with lines falling. Maybe that's because of the fires that have maybe spread after this. But come on, for a car to melt and turn into molten liquid and roll down the road for 100 yards and then go down a drain, that's impossible unless it's basically hotter than the surface of the sun. Hey, Christine.
You have to take into consideration the way these lasers work. They would have to focus it. It's essentially the same logic behind pointing ants in a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
Being able to focus it at such an intensity at one point, it causes this. Like I said before, yes, some of this could very well be issues with the power company down there that has been known to cause fires in the past. But the very damages that happens, that is basically the fires would have had to have hit something else going on in order to make as much damage. I mean, fucking concrete was vaporized.
Yeah.
You realize how hot a blast has to be in order to do that?
Yep.
Anybody who would get hit by that blast, you would not find remains. You may find pink sludge.
It's like one of the firefighters. There was a firefighter expert. He's actually an expert in arson. He can tell if a forest fire was started by a match. That's how good this guy is. And he actually says in a lot of fires like this in streets and stuff with disasters and things, the swimming pools are usually black and covered in like a fine layer of ash, right? And they've got water in them. Some of the pools were flash boiled. You can actually tell the plastic coating. It was flash boiled. If something come down and went zip it happened. One of the pools was actually flash boiled in the space of 5 seconds, not even 5 seconds. Yeah. So you imagine if someone was in those pools.
Again, you would not find remains.
You wouldn't find remains.
I would hear stories from soldiers in Iraq. This was actually one my father told me about an IED that went off. They went to go investigate the blast. All of a sudden, the only thing they could find inside the blast was this pink layer, like mist, like shit.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What the hell is this? Like, that's some dude."
Yeah.
That was whoever was in that car bomb.
What's that chemical you get and it burns through steel? The Germans used to drop it in World War II. What's it called, guys, in the chat? They used to what's it called? It's a chemical you can actually, it's like a powder and you put it on top of steel and you set it in fire and it'll actually melt right through the steel. They use it in weapons and tanks to take tanks out.
Yeah.
Or what's it called again?
They spray the shit in a war
Thermite.
zone.
Thank you very much, Emerald.
That's right.
Thermite. Do you know that thermite wouldn't even do that to the car? So whatever hurt that car was like 1,000 times warmer than thermite.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking there with a mad stare, but can you imagine that intensity?
You wouldn't feel it.
It'd be that bit.
For how fast that
I'll tell you what it would be like.
blast would go.
I'll tell you what it
You
would be
wouldn't.
like. It'd be like
you
the ray
wouldn't-
gun. It would be like the ray gun out of War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise. That vaporizing folk. That's how bad. That's how quick it would
No,
be.
as far as that, you would actually feel it.
Do you think
You would only feel cold.
Yeah.
There's only a certain temperature that the human nerves can actually handle before just being completely overwhelmed and shutting down. If you ever seen the movie The Punisher with Thomas Jane, and he's got a guy hanging upside down, he's poking him with a popsicle stick while he's got a blowtorch in the other hand, cooking a steak. He's trying to simulate that feeling.
No. There's Emildale says Jenny says hydrochloric acid is another one.
But it would have to be carefully coated though, without causing suspicion.
It's not just that; it's fires all around about the world. They're breaking out everywhere they know.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally, I think I know what this is. I think it's all in this climate change crisis. They want to lock you down. They want to lock you down. They want their 15-minute cities. They want Maui so they can build their smart cities. This is what it is.
In Maui, that's definitely the case. The conference was supposed to take place in order to start integrating it. And this is no conspiracy when we say that BlackRock and Vanguard has started trying to buy out the land that was destroyed.
And I'm going to say this to you. Your president and whoever's in charge of the White House, with it certainly not him, is gave every citizen $700 in Maui, right? And what's that work out about $3 million, $3 million or something like that? Whereas they gave Ukraine the other day $40 billion. Do you know what I mean? They don't
a one-time payment to
about
$700 to rebuild your life after it was destroyed.
Yeah. Good God, man! You can't even an Xbox now is about $500. Good God. Some TVs are about $2,000-$3,000.
You're barely lucky to get a decent used car at that price.
Yeah, well, it's so sad, and I'm kind of pissed off as and there's only a certain few people talking about this. Everybody else is all quiet. No one to talk about it in case their reputation's ruined.
Yet they will be more than happy to engage in rather sexual, race bigoted remarks, completely targeting innocent individuals that don't fall into their framework.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just goes to show the priorities of society these days.
But society is at a point where it's actually said to Jenny the day actually we were having a conversation that me, you, Jenny, other people in the chat there, that we are probably the last of this generation. What I mean is, it is going to be that film where people become stupid.
We're going to have to do that's another full-on episode.
Because the way the world's gone, I mean, the way society with the what do you call it? If you don't identify as this, you don't identify as that, you can identify as a fucking can it look as if you want, which I think is stupid. And it's honestly, I just don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to say this: I do think the Earth's got to go through some cycles soon. I think whatever happened in Maui, that island, and I know a lot of spiritual people, it's not happy. Nature's not happy with what's happened here, right? I know something's going to happen there. There's some really bad shit going to come to this planet. There's some disasters about to happen that's got to be biblical. I'm telling you, this is going to get worse. This is going to get worse. All this climate bullshit is going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. I've got my Amazon Alexa device over there, and you've got one too. Do you know it keeps giving me warnings saying red alert? There's a flood alert in place, red alert. It rained
Yeah.
once through the week. It rained once through the week.
Yeah,
And
we
this
mean
is programming.
alerts over here
Aye.
too.
This is programming. It's like with lockdowns, right? It's like with lockdowns, where like the bug, right? That's programming. They wanted to see how many people would fall in, right? So when they do that again, they can how to make it more extreme. You see? And what's worrying me too is how the government and what was in it? Was it Pamela Harris? What's her name? What's in the White House? Is what's her name? What's for the US president? She actually said about we need to reduce the population.
Kamala Harris.
Right, that's what it was. Right. And she actually said we will be ongoing. The speeches there, guys. Just go and look it up. We need to reduce the population
By 2025.
By 2025. Now, let me put this straight to you. There's nearly 8.5 billion people on the earth. Round about that. I don't know the exact amount, right? A nuclear war would probably kill 4 billion, right? And you still be left with about 5 billion, something like that, right? What they're saying is they want to get the population down to 500 million. Can you imagine how devastating something like that would be?
You have to take into consideration human beings acting alone have notoriously not taken into consideration the full scope of effect that their actions may take. They may not even be able to physically comprehend that much level of detail. With these weather manipulation technologies, that will create an imbalance with nature that nature will try to correct.
Yeah.
That's what causes storms. Is
Right.
nature trying to correct an imbalance?
I'm going to say this, right? Climate change is bullshit, right? It is bullshit. It's been proven to be bullshit, and everybody that proves it's bullshit either disappears or is fired, right? All these top scientists, right? It's been proven. In the 1960s, 1950s, and the 1960s, it was nuclear war was going to kill everybody, and then in the 1980s and 1990s came around. It was climate change, right? Look, I don't say there's pollution. The pollution's bad, right? The plastic in the oceans, the plastic we're using is ridiculous. We shouldn't be using plastic. We should try and use more renewables. We need to stop cutting trees down. We need to go down that road. Aye, and we need to start trying to get more renewable sources for power and stuff like that, like fusion energy and stuff like that, right? But the humans are obviously not allowed to use that, you know. The technology's there, they're just not allowed to use it because it's stored away in some mad bunker somewhere, and you're not allowed to use it. It's like Dr. Stephen Greer says, the technology's there. The technology was there in the 1960s that could have freed this world, and it's all been stashed away so they can make money out of oil.
Obviously, there's going to be a lot of people that debate these notions, but there's something else. I think we have to look at this more than just a climate change perspective, honestly. Yes, there is an aspect of climate change that is real. The planet goes through cycles. And yes, the actions of a species that manipulates nature as much as mankind does can actually push it into a different way. It's not much different than certain foods you like to eat causing cancer cells to develop later on. It's essentially the same logic. And eventually, as the body does try to figure out how to eliminate those cells naturally, and I find it funny that our signal's dropping again right as we're saying this.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just annotating for the people that are listening on the podcast side of this. They're going to see infections start raising. They're going to see something happen. And yes, there's other things going on that are trying to help, but the situation has spun so out of control. We are very much at a tipping point.
Yeah.
I'm going to see that on the way. War is happening.
That's quite interesting what Rev says there, Melissa says, about how we go through cycles. And it's true. The Earth has always went through cycles.
Exactly.
We've went through cycles. Look, again, as I said last night, Antarctica used to be a tropical climate, right? Parts say the world used to be deserts. Look at the Sahara Desert. At one point, that was a tropical climate. You know what I mean?
Throughout
The Earth's
Egypt's
going to
history,
change. There's nothing the human race can do to stop the world change, right? It's going to change. It's going to change. You can maybe manipulate it, right? You can maybe manipulate it and bring in this and bring in that and cool the planet down if you really, really tried, which they're doing with chemtrailing and spraying and God knows what. But I'm going to say this. I'm not going to name what it was. Obviously, the lockdowns, the tinky thingy in people's, arms and stuff like that. That is going to kill people. That's going to kill millions of people. And it's already doing it. Yeah, I know.
Enough bodies have dropped to where they can start officially launching investigations. But considering
it's too late now. It's too late.
That somebody was about to move in.
Look at his internet dropping, guys. Look at that, guys. You see? No signal, but it's still there. You see what I mean, guys? This is what happens when you start talking about the truth in this world. This is what happens. There's no freedom of speech anywhere. Freedom of speech is totally out the window. Look at that pose that he's got, actually, guys. Somebody take a picture of that with your phone for me. There isn't any freedom of speech anymore. Everybody thinks you live in a free community, a free government and stuff like that. There is no freedom of speech anymore. Just look what's happening tonight. There's no freedom of speech. Look at Elena Dennen. Her channel's always getting hurt with stuff. Our friend Danny, her channel's always getting hurt with stuff.
Sweet Jesus.
Oh, yep. See what I mean, guys? See what I mean? What were you got to say before they took your transmission, did man?
Well, what was the last bit y'all heard?
I was going on about the jibby jabby, and then you went to say something, you disappeared.
All right. Pfizer, the biggest producer out of this, was being investigated, and several governments have already called them out and gone in for investigations. Yet when those raids started to happen, all of a sudden, mysterious fires took place. Please tell me that came across.
Well, was it Rev Melissa says? She says I'm more free in Scotland. No, it's gone the same way as the US, Scotland. I'm afraid they're bringing in more and more and more restrictions over here. They're slowly taking everybody's rights over here. Do you know that the government of the UK, which controls Scotland too, by the way, I have to tell you that because everybody thinks it's Scotland's, but it's no. I've actually trying to change the. They're trying to change the what's that thing to the human rights, so they can force vaccinations on you.
Yep,
that's happening here in Scotland and stuff. You're lucky in America. I'll say this to now: America is more lucky than the UK to now. Scotland, Wales, and England. And I'll tell you why they're more lucky, because yous have got freedom to bear arms, right? You've got the option to uprise and taking over your government. The Scottish people don't have that. The Scottish people are lucky if we're allowed a knife that size, right? So we're fucked that way, right? But then the Americans, yous have got the right to bear arms. So you've got that option. That's why there's in America, everybody wants to take your guns off you. Because see, the minute that you lose all your guns, you are screwed. That's that. Everything, game's over. Do not give up your weapons. And this is a warning. Do not give up your weapons. What's that? Did you say something there? You there, Dakota? Can Dakota hear me, guys? Dakota?
I'm here.
Oh, see. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me? I'm just saying, because for a second there, I lost all sound. Rev says, I actually had an emergency attack through my phone last week. It was sick. I really a shock. Emerald Isles Paranormal. I was thinking on Facebook, I was thinking of my friend about American president, Mexico. My Facebook went blue only. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Jenny.
Yep.
Heather James, I forgot you were not allowed to have firearms. We're not allowed to firearms. We're not allowed to. You're not allowed to have a penknife.
Yep.
If you have to have a good excuse to have a penknife, right? Look, there's laws getting passed in the UK they know that would shock you, right? In Scotland, they're actually. I heard this day actually, and I was like, for fuck's sake, they're wanting to build parks here, right? Normal parks, kind of parks where you go and kind of sit and have your lunch and stuff, but you're only allowed to go into them if you're a transvestite.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
You know what I mean?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Nah, they're going on about it now.
Fuck's
I
sake.
seen a debate about it. I seen a bit of debate about it where they want to build safe places for these people that dress, you know. I'm not saying there's anything wrong in it, but I'm saying, come on, guys. It's getting a bit ridiculous now.
Something that bothered me. There was this trans person who went on to try to defend these drag queens teaching kids about sex, young kids not even in the double digits about sex, and groping these children. And California recently basically taken down the offense for adults who decide to have sex with willing participating children.
Yeah,
reducing the criminal charges for that. Their defense was, oh, so you're okay if a Catholic priest does it? No, but they're on your side. But those are the ones on your side. So you're only wanting to defend the drag queens wanting to rape children because they're on your side of the argument?
Look, this is getting brought in deliberately for two reasons. One is to try and dumb the population down to make them complete utter fucking idiots, right? Because let's face it, that's what's happening, right? It's happening, it's probably happening there, right? And two, it's trying to turn society. And why do you honestly, what is your opinion, Dakota? Why do you think they're doing this? Do you think they're trying to? Do you think they've got their own weird agenda?
I've been saying it on numerous occasions and tried to say it quite a few times. You have to take into consideration.
You've changed my name back again, you bugger.
Yeah,
that's terrible, isn't it?
I was waiting for how long people.
That's terrible. Honestly, guys, I'll get him. Don't worry, I'll get him back.
All right, change the name.
Don't
partially
change it back to bloody.
What?
I'll do it myself.
Fucking hell. Okay. Here we go. Okay, there's your name.
There you go.
Partially it is because of distractions. But you also got to consider this from a point of conquest. You're only to attack individuals. The best way is divide and conquer. Take out their communications so that they can't call in help. Make them divide amongst themselves. Take away. Oh, you dickhead. Yeah, at least I'm paying attention.
Well, at least you're paying attention, but eventually, guys, somebody says
it's divide and conquer.
Yeah.
It's divide and conquer, and you also take away their access to basic needs. Take away shelter. Take away food, take away water, take away that access. People are going to focus.
Look, his internet's dropped again, guys. See what I mean? But both get good receptions.
Yeah, my service
But that
actually just
doesn't
got
matter.
upgraded this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's divide and conquer. Depriving the very people you're trying to invade of their resources so they cannot fight back. They're not the ones that do, they're not going to be sure who to fight back. But the plans do fail.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they're wanting to bring in their one world government. We know that. And you got to remember, guys, this was created hundreds of years ago. This was decided hundreds of years ago. This would happen. I just don't know anymore. The society is getting to the point where folk just don't give a fuck anymore. I'm amazed. I'm amazed that there's not been like
anything.
I'm amazed that the UK hasn't had a revolution or the US hasn't had a revolution the way things are going. I really am. But that's because the younger generation, don't get me wrong, there is a lot of the younger generation out there that are okay, that are intelligent, that are actually standing up for the same kind of stuff as we are.
Mm-hmm.
But they're in a minority. They're for fuck's sake, in a minority, aren't they? I mean, that's that. I mean, look at where they're doing in schools, where some people are dressing up as cats and going to cat litter boxes in the corner of the room.
Yep.
I mean, what is wrong with this civilization? And if you question that, you're against that thing. Can't I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's what's next? Are we going to start burning all the books and all the libraries?
Oh wait. Already
Did
happening.
you know? Yeah, I know. I actually seen a clip on YouTube, and I can't remember where it was in the United States, but they've actually taken out all the books, and they've all been taken and destroyed, and they've all been replaced with woke ones.
Yeah.
That's why if I see a bargain, a book for sale, an interesting book for sale, I'll buy it and just keep it, because it's going to come to the point where these books and stuff like that are just going to disappear one day.
Can you imagine the number of books that we're putting out going to be in those burning piles?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's so sad. It's like you're too young for this movie, but there was a movie made in the early 70s, and it was called Fahrenheit, and it was Fahrenheit something that I'm going to help us in the chat, guys, if you know what it's talking
Fahrenheit
about.
450 something.
It's a British made movie, and it was about a fire crew, but their job wasn't to change that bloody back again. It's terrible. I'm bloody watching them like a hawk.
See,
anyway,
ladies and gentlemen, this is why you should come to the live shows.
See, we do this deliberate, guys. It's just a bit of fun between me and Dakota. But as I was saying, it was a fire engine, and it wasn't going to put fires out. It was going to burn books.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. It went to people's houses, and people would hide books in lofts and cupboards and stuff like that, and they would go through the house and smash the house up with their axe to find the books. We'd take them outside and burn them.
Yep.
Look at Nazi Germany. They used to burn. Look at Nazi Germany. They used to burn the books.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's coming to that. It's coming to the point where society is going to be only one-minded, and it's do what the state say. George Orwell, 1984. He predicted this, and it's all coming true. It's all coming true.
You know, there's a number of different things I've kind of been contemplating about this. There's also, to me, it also feels like the people behind this have either gotten lazy or are simply that confident in their plans to where they're not covering their tracks as well as they think they are. The head off the snake has been cut off, but still in the same light, so much of it is still in place that is all they know how to work with. I mean, you can even go into the gray agenda. I mean, you can think about it. Did you know that when a woman is pregnant, the baby will actually send stem cells, and it can actually physically rewrite the mother's DNA? So if we have hybrid kids being implanted in women of the regressive races, that means these women are technically part gray.
I'm amazed how long
They
it
have
took
the
you to
implant.
notice that. I'm amazed how you actually 3 minutes you managed to last without changing it. But here's actually something that I learned the other day. The psychic people in the room here will find this very interesting. Did you see that scientist article on birth today with children? It'll come on. Have you not seen this? The scientists have actually proved, right, when you become pregnant, the woman's egg and the sperm goes to the egg, and the fastest one's there, and then it turns into a baby, right? Do you know that they've actually found out that the egg puts out a frequency, and it only certainly attracts the certain sperm, right? And it picks which one it allows in. So that means you're chosen for a reason. You're chosen for a reason. There's a reason why you're here.
It's also been shown that at conception, there's a physical spark of light that takes
Yes, I've
place
seen
when the
that.
sperm gets in.
Do you think that's the soul?
Could very well be. There's not exactly a very ethical way of testing it now, is there?
Well, there isn't. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
It's like some. It was at Lisa that said to the other day there that when she was on her show that the soul chooses, right. Say for instance that woman's been pregnant for like a day, right? So you've been reincarnated in that, but you're still in the afterlife, and when you're due to be born, like a week before you're due to be born, you go. That's who you go into the baby, and you're born. It's quite interesting. He froze again, ladies and gentlemen. He's froze again. The aliens have took him away. See you go, ladies and gentlemen. Something really weird is going on tonight. Oh, he's back again from beyond the veil. I think he's instead of getting.
Sweet Jesus, what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I honestly think that your internet's been downgraded. You know? See what I mean, guys? You can't talk about things anymore. This is what happens. If I was on here saying President Biden was awesome and all that kind of stuff, I would probably be sitting with 2 million people in the chat and have loads of subscribers. It's madness. What's your opinion in the chat, guys? What's your opinion in the chat to what's happening in the world? Well, waiting to quote getting delivered back.
Sweet Jesus.
I know. It's madness.
It is.
This is all the time. They just keep it like that. I've not had a portrait like that for a while. It's actually quite good.
Yeah.
But it's look, it's getting to the point. I don't know anymore. I really don't. I asked when you left, what's the chat's opinion and what's happening? You've been bloody change that bloody thing again, you bugger. You have to keep an eye on him. He's terrible, guys. He really is.
Yes, I'm such a naughty boy.
He's a terrible, terrible person. Get what I mean? Fuck. I can't fucking spell it now for some weird reason it's coming up. Stop changing it. You're making my screen go all wonky. Stop it! Stop it, silly. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking for a new co-host. I want to like strangle him. You know.
There we go. You're fixed. Right. There you go.
Right. I've been fixed, Stuffer.
You need to be.
What's that in the chat? The world that needs complete makeover. Yeah, you're right. The world does need a complete makeover. everybody that's in charge of the now, we need to deal with them swiftly and severely. Remove them from office if need be, and vote somebody else. And but see, the voting is rigged now. It's rigged.
It is.
It's like see this. It's this new COVID cases that are coming out in America. It's you know what it really is, don't you? It's called election disease. It's so they want a total lockdown again, so they can send in their mad ballots to say, "Oh, aye, Joe Biden's great. Let's go have another 4 years at him."
Well, allegedly the favors may go for Robert Kennedy. So,
well, I don't care who it is as long as it's not that idiot. I mean, I don't know. There must be loads of clones of him walking about. There's loads of folk out there that look like him. He's got like doubles. He's probably dead for all we know.
It wouldn't take much to find a doppelganger.
What's that? We need a clean sweep and we are all the brooms. Well, I don't know. With the pick, say 10,000 people, put them in a bunker, then that's when everybody's needing to happen. But look, it's going to come to the point where we need to change our ways. We need to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you talk about the extraterrestrials. I mean, they're getting a bit pissed off with us. I ken that.
There's quite a few.
Oh, aye. They're getting extremely enraged and
they're getting frustrated with us because we're falling into the trap.
Yeah.
And even now, some of the parties that we can actually validate are legitimate when it comes to that discussion. People are so dedicated to try to prove something's wrong that they're basically trying to nitpick the smallest inconsistencies these days. It doesn't take a CIA agent. People are doing this on their own accord. The CIA may go in and redirect it to cause chaos. Yeah. And they've fully been caught doing it on numerous times. But the fact still remains the same. At the end of the day, we need to stop looking for excuses to try to be shits to one another. You know, playful teasing like Chris and I do, that's one thing. But just genuinely shitty to one another out of our own ego, out of our own trauma, that shit needs to stop.
Look what's happening in the UK, the TikTok trends where kids are attacking police officers and attacking them just because of TikTok trends.
Yep.
And of course, the UK, the police officers out here don't have guns. They have like a spray, like a baton or something like that. That's that.
Yeah. Stop! Or I'll say stop again.
Aye. That's the police officers here. I mean, society is breaking down. If nothing's done, I was saying 10 years from now, it'll be like a Mad Max scenario.
That's the thing. We need it to crumble.
We need the system to collapse so as we can rebuild it.
Exactly.
Yeah. But when will it happen? That's the thing. I mean, the people in power they're destroying everything. They're just destroying everything. They don't care. They're giving billions and billions of dollars to fight a war that could have been stopped a while ago.
Yeah.
Putin has tried 5 times now to bring this to an end. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And the West has went, no.
Yeah, I find it funny that people are trying to speculate about the claims of Russia finding baby factories, trafficking rings in Ukraine. Yeah. Yet, 5 years ago, there were several Western articles talking about how ever since Ukraine became sovereign, it became a main hub for trafficking.
I'm not sticking up for Putin here, right? Putin's a bad person, right? What he's done, and so is the West for what they've done. But see, you've got to remember that NATO promised Russia promised Russia that Ukraine wouldn't enter NATO. They promised them, because you think about it. Can you imagine if Canada, right? Like hypothetically, can you imagine Canada or Mexico? Like, say Mexico had nuclear weapons, right, and aimed them at the US right on your border. You'd be shitting yourself. You'd be shitting yourself. You would be. That's what it's like for Russia. Russia, they're bad buggers, right? But so is the West. So are we, for the things that we're doing. You have no idea what we're covering up over there right now. The things that we're covering up.
Here's the thing.
And it's terrible.
No matter how righteous you may feel entering the battle, the second war breaks out, neither side is the winner.
Yeah.
Because eventually, you're going to have to sit down and reach a fucking compromise.
There's your mum says they're having internet issues.
That doesn't surprise me.
I mean, do you ken the estimates of the dead in Ukraine? What they've been, because the mainstream media's no reporting on it. There's actually that General MacArthur. There's a colonel. He talks about this. He's an ex-colonel for the United States military. You see him on YouTube a lot. He was talking the other day, and he kens, because he's got friends who work in the CIA and stuff, that Ukraine has actually lost over 400,000 troops. It's called the meat grinder, right? That's just ridiculous. We have lost internet. Your mum said you've lost internet. Isn't that interesting?
Figures.
So, Dakota, we've got 3 minutes left of the show. What's on the agenda next week? What's happening next week?
Oh, I guess we shall see what brings us. Weren't you trying to cheat on me with your girlfriend next weekend?
Yes. I think it's Saturday. I'm doing a show with Jenny, but we could pre-record through the week if you want. We could do something stupid through the week if you want. Kim, I've not had an open house. What I mean is, on a Sunday we could have an open house.
We're going to be bringing in an open panel tonight, but you wouldn't shut up.
Things had to be said. And if Dakota disappears, ladies and gentlemen, we will remember him. We will have a 2-minute silence for you. And I guarantee you, on your platform,
2 minutes. I'm the one illegally in charge of everything. If I go, Bald and Bonkers goes.
No, but here's the thing, too. But if I put a plaque for you up here, I'm going to deliberately spell your name wrong.
That doesn't surprise me, and I doubt it would actually be deliberate, knowing the way you spell.
That's very true. But I'm going to name you. I'm going to take you for Dakota. I'm going to call you Dick, and then your last name.
I see.
Old Dickie boy.
I see.
You know,
I see.
He'll get me back for this. You did realize that, guys. He's going to get me back for just saying this kind of thing. But here's a question.
There is one thing, but I was trying to be nice.
You be nice. But here's a question for you. What are you doing through the week? Are you doing any gaming videos? Are you doing any other videos? Are you doing your week monthly updates or anything like that? You usually do.
Let's see what the schedule allows.
So, thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. And honestly, be safe out there. And I hope your mum and that gets an internet. I hope you get your internet back.
Yeah. Someone probably took out a line.
Yep.
Doesn't surprise me.
It was the Indian astronauts coming back.
Or some drunk kid running over a line. Happens all the time.
Yeah, that's very true. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a fantastic week, and we will see you very, very soon.
Bye.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you see Bald and Bonkers for even more insanity. Be sure to spread the love to the Bald and Bonkers boys' other endeavors. And a special thank you to our audience, guests, and everyone else who helps make this crazy ride happen. Amazing things are ahead. Learn more by visiting www.baldandbonkers.net. See you next time. Much love and take care.